Hey guys, this is Truck Waffle, and I've been told I'll be coaching you guys for this season. Xshal's very nicely asked me to. This is my first time doing this sort of thing, like officially coaching. It's supposed to just helping out. I know my job is supposed to be helping you guys learn where you could be doing things better, but it'd also be nice if you could let me know if there's anything I could help you with better than just what I'm doing right now. So anyways, a little bit about myself as we roll through this draft. Actually, I haven't started it yet for some reason. But I've been playing Dota for quite a while now. Dota 1 had a short relapse for League and then came back for Dota 2 as soon as the beta opened. And yeah, since then I've mainly been a position 1 player. If I've needed to, I don't mind playing the position 5. Play position 5 in a couple more competitive teams when I've had some players better than me play with me, so I know the ins and outs of those two positions pretty well. So I guess as I go through these replays, there's going to be a bigger focus during the laning phase on the safe lane, and what I think you guys could be doing better there. I did look at most of the lanes, and I feel comfortable helping the off lane as well, but the mid lane is something that, while I might be able to help a bit, my advice is definitely not the best you could possibly get. So my mid lane mechanics are quite bad, relatively. Anyways, I guess we look at the draft here. Oh shoot, can't see the bands, but it's pretty hard for me to kind of analyze a draft for you guys without knowing exactly like the play styles you have and like what you like to play, because I'm a bit of a hero spammer myself, and I know exactly how important it is to get your players on heroes that they're comfortable with. The other reason that this is hard for me to kind of just look at a draft is I haven't watched too many LD2L games, and I know each different league has their own different meta. The pro meta is going to be different than the RD2L meta or the league meta. Every different MMR bracket is going to have different heroes that are powerful. For example, we don't see any Tusk picks or bans in this game. You don't see them at my level even, but in the pro games you're going to see Tusk picked or banned every game, just because of what the meta for that bracket needs a hero to do. So like from what I've seen from your games, it looks like Ricky's pretty first pick, first ban material, as both teams actually first picked it, I think. Which I don't disagree with. That hero's pretty good right now, but you don't see him picked in the pro games. So until I get a better feel on what you guys like to play, how you guys like to perform, and a bit more of the LD2L meta, which I am hoping to watch a couple more of the games this week, because I didn't manage to catch any last week. And I'll be able to help a bit more with the draft. But just looking at the base level of the draft, it seems very strong. You have heroes that you have picked against their heroes to kind of counter them. Like, it's very hard for a Naix to get on a sniper. It's very hard for a Naix to do anything to a troll warlord kind of deal, unless they go the Radiant Solar Crest build, which you can adapt for as the troll. And I guess the idea is that you should be able to man fight the Naix. So I do like your draft in this game. I don't think the Lifestealer actually ended up going Solar Crest in this game, which was lucky for you guys, but you guys did end up losing this one, I think. But I don't think the draft was the issue. The draft has a lot of pretty good heroes against theirs. The only thing I think it's really lacking in is CC. You really just have the Blink Stun from Centaur, and your follow-up is, I guess, Ice Path, but that means Shakiro has to be pretty close to the fight already. And your cores don't really offer much besides Troll trying to lock down one of the heroes, and it looks like later in the game Phantom Lancer is going to be a bigger problem. But Troll can kind of mitigate that as well, and I'll talk a bit more about that when it gets to that point in the game. So anyways, let's start rolling, and I've got a got a couple of things to talk about. So we take a look at starting items here. They're not fully bought yet, but I will talk about safe lane starting items because I'm most comfortable with this position. I used to also not start very much regen as a safe laner, and then I watched a couple Slasher's Way videos where he kind of taught me, back at the time, I think tangos were sets of 4. So I would start 2 sets of tangos and a salve, and starting a lot of regen is very important for, I think, every lane, except for the mid lane because you have access to the courier. Generally, you don't want to be using the courier too much as the side laners. So what I will normally do is start this set of 6 tangos on a melee, a safe laner, and a salve, and a shield. And what I will do is I'll keep my 110 extra gold. And when my team gets 2 runes, or if we only get 1 rune, I have to wait a bit. But it's not too big of an issue. Then I will pick up a Quelling Blade for the lane. And this way you start with 3 sets of regen, which can be extremely important if you're getting pressured, or even if you're not getting pressured. What I'll talk about in a bit is working with your support to help deal with the off lane. And if we look at the support here, Sweetie Todd actually started with, it looks like, a set of tangos, and Healing Salvin is given 1 tango, I think, yeah, 1 tango to his mid laner. So this is a good set of starting items. You can see he's bought all the awards in courier, that's why he's so poor. Clarity, salve, tangos. I think he bought a sentry too, actually, because he's poorer than I thought. Yeah, 2 sentries. Okay. Yeah, so this is really good starting items from Swoonie. I would like to see another set of regen, as I said, in this lane. And the reason I've stopped here is because I want to talk a little bit about positioning before the rune as well. In this game, and I think in the next game as well. But I'll show that again when it happens in game 2. You guys position over here up at this cliff. So at this cliff, you really only have vision here and across here. And the way most enemies come down is they'll come down, like an offlaner will come down this lane and they'll ward around this area, or they'll just wrap around like they have as a team here, and they're smoked, kind of. It looks like Underlord is not smoked, but whatever, they come around this direction, and they're actually going to get really lucky because Sweeney Todd just barely misses them, and they're gonna see you guys, and they're gonna go right on Sweeney Todd. And at this point, there's nothing. Really nice bro strike, actually, one of the only in the game, but they're gonna get first blood here, which would be a much bigger deal if they're sticking with his aggro lane. Another thing I'd like to do is, I know playing with troll axes is fun, but I would save the point just in case. I don't think it would have mattered in this case, but just in case, I like saving the point unless you're something like Ricky, where you need the invis to do your job at the beginning. Like, if you don't need the skill to do your job, just hold it. So anyways, these supports, I'll talk about this later too, is they like to handhold a lot, which is actually, I think it was very effective. But yeah, let's get to laning. Oh, and if it seems like I'm harsh on you guys, it's because I'm only pointing out the things that I think you could do better. I'm not pointing out the things you're already doing well. So it's gonna seem like I'm flaming you guys a bit, but really I'm just trying to help. I think you guys actually played a pretty good game here. Just a couple mistakes and a little bit of a rough start made it tough for you to win. Okay, so I missed my spot. Okay, so if we go back here, Xshal had to run up to not die. That is fine, but what I would have done is run right back to lane. As carry, I like to use the side chop at the beginning, right? So I like my support blocking the lane anyways, and I will catch, like, this pit lord blocks this creep above. I would catch that myself as carry and bring it back. And I think catching the creep wave is much more important than blocking your own. So anyways, this lane is going to push out regardless of what we do now. That's kind of also because Sweeney Todd died at the beginning. He wasn't there to block the lane for Xshal, so Xshal had to go back and do it himself. But anyway, so an important part of the game, and I think one of, like, the easiest things to learn, and without spending too much time on it and really being effective at it is zoning a hero. So in this lane it's already too late, but I just want to talk about the positioning a bit as we start. So if the carry can keep equilibrium, which I think Xshal does well in the next game, so maybe I should use that as a better example. But I wanted to just talk about Sweetie Todd's approach here. I think your goal as a support zoning the offlaners to make them feel threatened enough to leave the lane. So if you're coming at him at this direction, like, what is he gonna do? He's just gonna, like, he realizes you're gonna hit him, and that's it. You're just gonna hit him a bit, and he's gonna sit in the lane. He's gonna get all this EXP, right? Okay, so right now this is what you want. You want to be in a position where you can hit the offlaner, and he hits you back, whatever, but the creeps are not aggroing anything. So Sweeney Todd and OC, like, it would be good if he just sat there and just traded with him, but instead they're both kind of wiggling around in the tree, stuff like that. Now there's like a full wave. There's going to be another wave here, and this is going to push in pretty hard. So Sweeney Todd knows that since this lane is pushing already because the one creep was blocked in front, he knows that as soon as it hits 1 minute, he should be going to pull the creeps. So normally, if your carry can keep the lanes at equilibrium, I would never recommend pulling the creeps. In this case, neither camp is blocked. He doesn't know that yet, but it would probably be worth it to check since this is going to push anyways, and this allows Xshal to get 100% of the experience, so he doesn't get out-leveled by the Underlord. So what I think Sweeney should do here is go over to this camp and pull it. If you guys... I'm not sure your experience level on this sort of pulling thing, but these creeps are going to move as fast as the lane creeps, so just pull. I don't know the timings, but just pull like when they get about here. And if the projectiles, if they're ranged, if they throw a projectile, you want to be hit by a projectile near the creeps. If you time it right, doesn't matter. Just keep walking, and they'll follow you into the creep wave, pull it back. Then you want to pull this wave over to this one when there's about a creep and a half left here. Make sure to help nuke down the last creep as you're pulling it over, so that they'll actually aggro and follow over here. If you do this for this wave, there's a double wave coming in this way, and it's going to be fighting a wave here under tower. The Underlord won't be able to deal with any of that. He's going to lose a wave of experience. Sweeney Todd is going to get a large camp and a small camp worth of experience, and Xshal should be slightly higher level than him, and Sweeney Todd should be probably almost level 2. No, he'll be level 2 because he has a bit of experience already. So that would be a great way to salvage the lane here, because if I remember in this game, both of these offlaners kind of get a bit, I don't want to say out of control, but they get a lot out of their off lanes without very much help from either team. This Underlord is here the whole time, and I think Cryptic does go top to help Skynet a bit, but yeah, so that's my 2 cents on the zoning, and I'll talk more about it later. And if you guys want, I can run through. Like, it's something you can just really easily practice. That doesn't require like a specific scenario in a pub or something like that. It's something you just set up a lobby with 3 you guys, maybe 4 if you want to like practice 2 people zoning the offlaner, stuff like that. So I did want to go back and talk about the offlane a bit too. So right now we have Skynet, and he's in a 1v1 situation with the Lifestealer right now because the Sand King and the AA tried to get first blood bottom, and honestly, like, getting the first blood bottom was not that great because they're forced to walk all the way up top, and Skynet is gonna have level 2 pretty much here. He's got a pretty big wave pushing in. The last hit's nice, and so what happens here is you don't see the AA walk across because of where the ward is, and the AA actually took the long way, but you do see the Sand King come this way, and because the AA has been missing for so long, you kind of want to assume that both heroes are together, and at this point, this is when the lane becomes dangerous for Skynet. But what could be done to prevent not only this gank, but to like put yourself in a safer situation, is to abuse aggro mechanics, and that's another thing I can get into in a lobby or something like that. Very easy to practice, very easy to learn, and it makes a big difference. You just right click the enemy lifestealer here, the creeps are going to chase you, and you just run back. And if you do that, you get the melee creeps on your range creep, and you kind of just pull the wave back this way. So instead of standing up here, and we're going to see this gank come through, instead of standing up here, Skynet could be standing back here already. And the distance from here to the tower, or if Sweeney Todd wants to rotate, like he's all the way up here now. And this makes it much harder to get out. And honestly, dying early as an offlaner is not that big of an issue. This is a really good stun, actually, perfectly timed for... Oh, actually, didn't have rage, but good stun. But like the lane equilibrium is reset here. It's gonna make it harder for the carry to last hit, and he's gonna TP back in with full health. So, anyways, that's just what I wanted to say about the offlane. He's gonna TP back, and I guess Sand King's still sitting there. AA, he can see the AA has moved out a bit, but when these creeps come in, he's gonna want to pull them back, I think, right? Because if he pulls these creeps back here, he'll be sitting here instead. Makes it very hard for them to gank him, because that's where he's sitting when he's playing safe anyways. He could be last hitting creeps there. Alright. Okay, so you guys did get a pull off here, which is really good. And I like that you took the creeps back under tower. Okay, so pretty much because of this pull, like as I said earlier, I think it came out just a couple waves too late, but okay, this is the example I want to show. Okay, so we see Cryptic and Sweeney Todd running after OC. This is very good. Look at where OC is. He's not getting a single lick of experience. Xshal's getting everything. If this was like a balanced wave, it was very close to being just a balanced wave sitting in the middle there. That'd be very good. When the creeps come, you want to move back to the side to not aggro them. And I think that if Sweeney Todd was just still standing right here, and maybe Cryptic was off map, like he's off map right now, they don't know where he is, OC has to stand at tower. And OC's not going to get any of this experience, any of this farm. So Sweeney Todd does a good job here running out, and that's where he needs to stay. He needs to just sit here, spam his spells into him. Xshal doesn't need to worry about it that much unless they think they can get a kill, which is pretty close. But this is the kind of thing where if your carry starts with a lot of regen, like if you start with 6 tangos and a self, you can keep feeding that regen off to your support, who can keep trading 1v1. And then at this point, this Underlord could be level 1, and Xshal could be level 4, and Sweeney Todd would still probably be level 2. Actually, no, he'd probably be level 1. But trading the supports farm for the offlaners is very important, and I'll talk a bit about that later as well. And so we see the enemy team has 2 kills already. They're both on the off lane, not Skynet's fault. It's a very hard lane. But it's because this AA and this Sand King, they're involved in every kill right now. They're just running around together. And look, they pop a smoke, realize, hey, there's someone on me, and they're instantly going to get another kill. This is these 2 supports, they're just sitting together the entire game. And I think this is something that's very powerful at all levels of play. Is them just sitting together. If you notice next game, Cryptic seems to do his own roaming thing, and the other supports also do that, and you guys come out much better on the laning phase because they don't have a death duo of supports running around and just murdering whoever they want. I think they get a couple kills on the mid lane as well. Anyways, I missed this kill, but it's not too important. I think Xshal just tried to hold the lane in front of tower, but it's just a small mistake. Thought he could fight the Underlord. Anyways, yeah, they're gonna go on mid, and look, and the rotation again, what I was talking about is these 2 playing together. The problem with the Ricky is, like, I know he's a very strong hero in pubs, and he did, Cryptic did play him really well, able to get on the squishy supports, but he can't really just run around. He's not a good duo. He doesn't have a stun or a slow early. He doesn't run around with another duo earlier like what these guys are able to accomplish. So yeah, the kill score is 5-0 now. Kind of dire straits, but nothing really seems to be happening in the lanes too much. Both offlaners are getting farm. I'm actually surprised Centaur has this much farm against what was a tri lane for the most part. I think they're gonna kill him again, but like, there's honestly not much you can do against this with without sitting way back. He's level 5. He's got good levels. OC's level 5 too, almost level 6. Like, they're ahead of their respective carries in both these lanes in terms of experience, which means they're doing a good job. So it's a bit of a rant. Alright. Okay. So at this point, you see Cryptic is scouting the enemy team. And he sees a rotation coming in. And this is I just want to point this out. This is a very good rotation. The offlaner TP's in when they try and go in. There's the Stampede, and everything just goes off perfectly. Great ice path from Sweeney Todd. And I think you guys actually just get out with a kill here. Only one kill, but they made a rotation. They walked their supports into here looking for a kill, and you guys came out with a kill. And I think that was really good. It's something that I think you should focus on more as well. Is there's another couple there's a couple deaths in the past. Like some of these 7 deaths could have been prevented with like multiple TPs in. And this was an example of you guys really doing it well. Let's see, just want to skip ahead a couple seconds here. Okay. So the game is really stabilized. They're only 1k ahead despite being up 7-2. Not too much is happening, but because I just want to pause this and show the vision both teams have. So the Dire, I need to play it for it to update. The Dire is 2 like pretty deep wards here. They can kind of see wherever you guys are moving. Right now they have vision on like this ward up here has vision on Skynet, and the creeps have vision on Xshal. They can see 3 of your heroes right now. Oh, actually they have this deep ward too. If we look at your vision, it's kind of like safe lane vision. This ward's alright. Like these wards are alright, but they're not really seeing the rotations that are happening, and there's nothing in their jungle to kind of see where they could be to make you feel safer to farm somewhere. And I think you guys had some interesting stuff going on with the wards here too. This ward was sitting in base for over a minute, I think. I like the fact that you're giving them to Cryptic though to place. Very good as a, like Ricky's a very good hero to be placing wards around. You can place them invisible. But I would like to see Sweeney Todd buy them instead of Cryptic, because I think Cryptic sacrifices a bit too much farm in both games. Despite I think he played really well, but I think you need to think with a bit more farm you could do a lot more in these fights. Yeah, and another thing to note is we look at the towers. Every single tower is at like 90% health. Every single tower is untouched pretty much. And this is I want to bring this back to zoning. This is because the offlaners are so strong that they can prevent the safe laners from taking their towers when they push. They're the safe laner and the support. Like the Underlord just puts fire down, or Skynet just walks the creeps back, and the tower is safe, kind of deal. With zoning, you can start to take objectives and take map control a lot faster if your safe lane, like the level differential between your safe laner and their off laner is big enough. It can be taking towers at like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, like with that first catapult wave. But yeah, I think that's something that needs to be practiced first, is the whole zoning thing. Great. Let's see. Bring it back to both teams' fog, giving me that little advantage to talk about things. We're gonna look up here, and Sweeney Todd, he catches this smoke gank, and now him dying for the smoke, it doesn't matter. That is absolutely fine. The issue here is that we try and get cute and save our ally, but it's not gonna work. And when an ally is dead, especially a position 5, he's broken a smoke. Sometimes that's just a win, and you don't need to get anything else out of it. So I think this does happen a lot in the early games for both teams, is that when an ally is dead, they don't just let him die. They always try and go in, and you, instead of losing just one hero, you lose 2 heroes and then maybe a tower or something like that. Like, because you guys lost 2 heroes, this PL feels really safe to push, and this tower went from like 90% health to 20% health in a couple minutes there. And because we rotated the sniper down too. So you don't always have to win a trade kill-wise. Sometimes it's just a win if the smoke breaks and your support dies. Let's see. Okay, so here is Cryptic defending a tower. He's actually invisible despite the game not showing it right now. So Cryptic is trying to get Minu off this. I think you see Jotham there. And they drop a ward, and at this point they go on you. And at this point, this has been like 2, 3, 4 seconds, 5, 6, 7. There needs to be a rotation from anyone there. Letting someone die is different when they're just out in the open. You can't really get to them. This is at a tier 1 tower. There's tower armor protecting you. There's a TP spot like right to that player. Trees probably could have TP'd. Sweeney Todd could have TP'd. Xshal doesn't have TP. But I probably wouldn't anyways because someone needs to defend bottom tower. And Skynet's TP, I think you just TP'd out from something. So at this point, someone needs to TP top. Fortunately, Cryptic actually kills this guy by himself and then gets out. But that's not always going to be the case. It's times like these where maybe if they had dropped aggro better, Sand King could have gone out and they could have killed Cryptic, right? And then one TP means killing both Minu and the Sand King. I don't think you guys actually killed him. That's loud every time I switch. Anyways, so at this tower, you guys kind of just stand behind it. No one's really defending it, throwing spells, wave clear, or anything. As soon as it goes down, you guys are kind of still in position to get caught here. So when they go on Skynet here, and I think just as a thought, you have Blink Dagger already. I think once you have Blink Dagger, you want to be sitting like well out of vision of everybody else. To get that blink off, it's much harder to stop the blink stomp if they can't see you in the first place. Because most of the human reaction time is perception time. So if they don't even know you're coming, then there's no way they're gonna stop it. So they go directly forward on Skynet, but Cryptic manages to catch them the AA out and kind of focuses attention on the AA, leaving Jotham kind of stranded. And I think you guys actually do really well in this fight. Yeah, great target. Get on the AA. That's your job as the Ricky, and yep, there's a blink forward and you guys get this kill. Cryptic does end up going down for this, but you guys are behind. I would call that a win. Good call by Cryptic here. Seeing I saw mass pings coming out for the Underlord coming in. I don't actually think he brought anyone, but you never know. It's a good backup and just generally good positioning from you guys. You guys are in like a really bad position right now, 6k down, but a lot of these fights, they go way better than expected. I just wanted to show your vision. Okay, so this is your vision right now. It's not very much. Most of this map is dark. And if we look at their vision, they can see almost everything on this map. And like, that's not because of the wards right now. Like, the wards aren't the issue. The issue is where the creep waves are positioned. So we look at where the creep waves are positioned. This one is hitting tower. This one is coming down, and Xshal has just gone there to kind of push it out. And this one is where you guys just took your fight. So you took your that fight on your side of tower. If it went bad, that's like a guaranteed tier 2 tower for them too. So I guess the important part of what I'm trying to say is, I know Blitz made a video pretty recently talking about pushing out waves and how important this is. And I guess you just can't stress it enough. It's a really big difference playing against like teams of different skill levels. You can really tell just by how much they're pushing you around the map to react to things. And these guys right now, they've got all your waves pushed in, they can see everything that's on the map. They have vision on pretty much every hero that's alive right now. They feel extremely safe farming their jungle, doing whatever. So what needs to happen here is what Xshal is doing right now. He's gonna go and push out this wave. Trees is gonna defend this tower. Mid wave still needs to get pushed out. No one's even on that. But Xshal pushes this out, and then he's gonna go back. But what I would like to see is have him like stick around this area, so he can get right back here and push this out again when this Underlord pushes it back in. And the other thing I would like to see is, I guess Centaur, he has Blink Hood right now. I think he goes Crimson Guard later too. Like, but at a certain point, he's pretty nigh unkillable. The enemy team doesn't really have anything that kills anyone. They've got a Lifestealer Bomb on the Sand King, and if they time that with the AA Blast, maybe you kill anyone. But I don't even think you kill Centaur. I think Centaur stampedes away. There's not really too much you can do about that unless they bring all 5. If they bring all 5, that's fine. Your death is definitely worth it. But I would like to see Centaur just like pushing waves all the way out. See, instead of pushing this wave out here, you guys go for the Sand King as a really roundabout kill, and this wave now meets back here. So because this wave meets back here, we don't have the vision going out, and this allows Minu and OC, they're gonna come back here. This actually ends up being a really good fight for you guys. You have vision here. Fighting under vision is very important. You want to do this as much as possible. This is very good. So I'd like to see teams focus wards on where they're going to be pushing next. In this case, they brought the fight to you for some reason here. You have the vision here. It's only 2 of them. They're very far ahead. Maybe they're cocky or whatever, but Cryptic also sees this rotation just coming all the way in. And see how this fight unfolds. Gets really low due to Radiance though. They're gonna go on you guys. Stampede to get away. Cryptic pops his wand. This is really good kiting from the Lifestealer. He doesn't actually pop open wounds until right now. Skynet positions himself well. Swoony Todd's Macropires are actually really good this game. And they were fighting on them a lot. And you guys just kited them really well. They managed to bring 3 in, and you guys get a kill on Minu. I don't think this should have been a kill because he caught his alarm went off and then not back on. And then you get another kill here on Jotham, and everything's going well. During this time, oh no, yeah, don't actually kill him. During this time, I probably would have liked to see Xshal just keep pushing bottom. The heroes on your team are extremely low, pretty low, not much mana, no health at all, and Swoony Todd, he's the position 5. So like, you guys got the kill, you killed their super farm Lifestealer, most last hits in the game, highest net worth in the game, even after the death, and force them to rotate over. You guys should be happy with that win. And someone who was actually there, because Xshal's not there, he's not looking, he should be focusing on getting his last hit, stuff like that. Someone here needs to call, don't come, just keep doing what you're doing, and we're disengaging. But instead, you guys run in here, and I think Xshal dies here. Yeah, didn't quite get to Shrine, but they make the rotation, and they're gonna end up getting Cryptic too, because that unfortunate Sentry Ward. See, they put their own ward up there, I think, after the fight, but you guys see that. But yeah, it's kind of like a, if you get like a lucky kill or like a good kill or whatever, you don't need to always push your advantage, especially if you're really low and lose a lot of spells. So that's something I wanted to touch on there. And when you guys die here as well, like when you're fighting around your own area, like this lane is pushed in quite far. This one is pushed in nicely, but that fight, that 1 TP in transitions into a guaranteed tier 2 tower for them. And that's a ton more map control, right? Like, it's very hard to farm this area of your map now. They're gonna have vision all the way down here with creeps pushing, stuff like that. So if you guys are gonna take risky fights, you want to be taking them away from your base. You want to be maybe like smoking into their jungle or something like that. But either way, you guys are in dire straits right now. I actually can't believe you came back-ish from this game. Okay, so there's a Roche fight that happens that you guys, like, pretty much brings you back to the game. Okay, so at this point, Sweeney Todd has already died. They chased up here, and you guys are kind of low. But Cryptic is in here, and he sees that their carries are at like 2% health. And they're trying to take Roche for some reason. So while I would normally not advise taking a Roche fight 4v5 with your mid player at half health, Cryptic scouts this out, and this is kind of more of a what not to do. Don't Roche. Don't take this dangerous Roche when you don't have to. You're pretty far ahead, or their team. They're pretty far ahead. They don't need to be taking this Roche. Their PL and Lifestealer, they're doing very well. It's just a risky thing to do. And you guys end up kind of stomping this fight. It's a 3-man hoof stomp, I believe. But this is like, this is what happens when you get your blink off. This guy gets his blink off. 3-man hoof stomp. They're not gonna be able to do anything about that. Trees has to blade mail. That happens again with Xshal. I don't know if you guys just really don't like blade mail or what, but I just wanted to keep watching because that was pretty funny. I don't think you guys expected you're already going back to pit, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you transitioned this into an easy Roche. You have a great Roche lineup with Troll. Troll can pretty much solo it. I think it's fine that they're all in there for this though, but okay. Okay, so when you guys are like in this position right here, you have vision on every single hero on their team. So look at the position of where your waves are at right now. Like this is pushed out. This is getting pushed out. This is right at their tower too. And you have vision of every single hero. So I just want to say good job with this part. Someone could be splitting bottom too if they wanted. But that's what happens when your lanes are pushed out. You can kind of see everything that's happening. And you know that if they're not going to be bottom, they're planning something. They're either roshing or they're doing, yeah, so you see Sand King go down there and he's farming bottom. And now because he's here, they can't kill anyone on the map. Like how do they can't kill anyone without Sand King. So just how powerful that is, and I think you guys actually find the AA there, just because there's so much chaos on the map right now for the other team. They don't have any vision at all. So that was good. That was an example of you guys shoving your waves in and doing a good job. And see, look, it transitions into tier 1, tier 2 towers. Like that's a lot of map control. And you managed to get out. I don't know why I tagged this timestamp, to be honest. I actually have no clue.
Death's bounty.
Sorry about this. I think I wanted you. Oh no, this is just the point where the lead crosses over into your side. I don't know if you guys feel it at this point, but you've taken a lot of good fights in a row. And here's an example of like the pick off potential that they have. But look, they have a Lifestealer bomb with their Lifestealer, with their Sand King, and look, he doesn't even kill Xshal. Xshal has almost no defensive items, and he doesn't even have to pop his BKB. Well, he has SMY, I guess, but like he went Battle Fury into this. The Centaur is definitely not dying at any point if he decides to push a wave, and I know he goes Heart next too, so. But this is something that can't really happen. You guys have vision on these guys coming down, and this is just a little bit of a greed play. I think at this point in the game, where it's getting kind of late, you don't want to be taking any unnecessary risks. You guys run away here together, and you see Xshal's getting out, and you know they're trying to chase Xshal, but they come back into vision over here. And the Ice Blast scouts out Trees, and he needs to run away. But, they cut him off, and I think Sweeney Todd doesn't die. I thought he died here. Never mind. I wrote it down wrong then. But yeah, that death is really costly when Sniper's your best base defense. Let's see. So at this point, Okay, so at this point, Cryptic gets caught out. Whatever, you're Ricky, you get caught out. That's what happens. You're providing vision for your team. He gets caught out kind of in a badish spot because they can push right off this, but Skynet is pushing top, and what I think needs to happen is you need to just keep pushing top. If you get these creeps further and further out, they're going to have to respond to this instead of just being able to take tier 2 and then tier 3 tower. In this case, they don't actually even go mid. Their carry has been splitting this entire wave. Like, if you look at this, like 30 seconds ago, the waves met all the way back up here, and he's pushed it all the way down here, and now they have really good lane position. Every single wave they're gonna get this tier 2 tower for pretty much free. And I think did they jump in really stupidly here? I think so. Yeah, I think this is the first really good fight. So they see you guys, and they're gonna blink stun, and the team reacts good. Crimson Guard pops. Xshal gets his shit off, and this fight's actually just really good for you. This Macropyre does actually so much work in this fight. So pretty much, you only lose Xshal, who they initiated on fully, and you get 3 heroes. And if this, like, if Skynet had just pushed out one more wave, this tower would be at less than half health, I think. But because this wave is pushed out, PL has to go top. And you guys can pretty much do whatever you want with 3 people dead on the other team. I like Tree's idea to shove this out. Cryptic goes mid to start things rolling. Very good. I want to go back to the fight actually. Okay, so before they go on, Skynet is hanging back like he should. But to get Crimson Guard off, he walks in and gets his blink cancelled. So while you guys are beating on, there's 3 heroes here. If Skynet pops his ult and then stomps them instead, you also get the PL, I think, in that kill. I just wanted to just point out blink positioning because I think he did want the blink, but I don't know what canceled it. Something canceled it. So it's just it's a matter of just trying to stay out of vision before you go in. Like, this fight went really well. You guys played it really well. You could have I think it could have been 4 or 5 dead, and that's like guaranteed towers for sure. Okay, so Cryptic's dead here. And they've had this pretty unkillable Phantom Lancer here. And we're going to see Jotham blink in and stun trees. But I don't think he's a life stealer in him. So at this point, you guys back up your sniper really well. Good BKB. And look, see, this is the difference. This is when you blink stun in. You catch 2 people off guard. These guys thought they were going to be able to do whatever they wanted. And Xshal gets almost really lucky and bashes him to death, but doesn't quite. You guys ended up forcing the cheese out of Minu, and he misses the callback on Phantom Lancer, who's your biggest threat at this point. And I just said he's pretty unkillable, but not if he's alone. You guys could 4v1 him. He actually makes a bit of a game out of it. Almost gets quite a few kills off, but you managed to smartly track down the correct PL. Okay. I kind of want to just do an item check as well. Talk about everyone's item choices since we're 40 minutes into the game now. So item-wise, I like the troll builds. Honestly, I personally don't go Battle Fury. I go Mask of Madness instead. But versus PL, and just I've seen a lot of other high-rated players go Battle Fury. I see how it works. The early BKB is very good. It won you a lot of fights. Scotty, I think, is super underrated on troll as well. Overall itemization is good. Hurricane Pike very good here. I know you're going BKB, but if you go Maelstrom against the PL, Mjolnir is very good. You can't even purge the buff with Defusal anymore. I do like getting the BKB though, so either way you go with this, the item build is still pretty solid. I really like the fact that Sweeney went a first item that is like an active item. Glimmer or Force Staff I think should always be your first item on a support, and I really like that that happens. My issue is kind of with Mechanism. I don't think that's a very good item anymore, especially on supports. There's so many more items you want to buy. Even to keep your team healthy, to keep pushing, I think an Urn is just better. Unless there's like a very specific silence you want to, like you're playing against Silencer and you're not going to build a BKB. That's the only reason I can think of going for mech, to kind of build into the Guardian Griefs. Or if you're like a very just naturally tanky offlaner like Pit Lord or Tide Hunter. Those are the only couple heroes I think I would ever go Guardian Greaves on nowadays. I think that heroes or the item's just over nerfed, and I think that if this was a Glimmer Cape or something like that, things could have been different. As far as Ricky goes, I'm more of a carry Ricky player, but I think when I've been watching a lot of support Ricky recently, I'd like to see phase boots first. Tranks keeps you healthy and allows you to move around, but phase gives you the move speed in a pinch, like when you need it in fights, and it 24 damage on every half a second in your ult mid game when you're trying to pick off the squishy heroes is a lot of damage. And I don't know if that can be overlooked. As well, after Diffusal Blade, since I think Ricky support is kind of more of a one-trick pony where you kind of just kill one hero in the fight regardless if they want to die or not, I like to see a Nullifier or a Basher or something instead of the SNY. I do like SNY and Ricky a lot, but that's more so on carry Ricky. I don't think this is that poor of an item choice though. I think like if you're like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough gold for Basher before this fight because we're losing, but I need to be able to fight better. I think the Yasha is fine. It's just more of a farming item than anything. And then Centaur, I really like these items. Finishing the pipe might have been good, I think, for the team. I know the Ags is very good too. I think instead of a heart, I would have finished the pipe and went the Ags, and would have given your team a lot better chances in the fights. But just having the Crimson Guard saved Xshal a couple times already, and the hood is pretty necessary. And the other thing I look at is the other thing I just want to discuss is the Battle Trance Dispels talent on Troll. I don't think that's a very good talent, except in very specific situations, especially if you don't go Mask of Madness. Because Battle Trance is usually used at the beginning of the fight in the first place. And second of all, it doesn't really dispel anything. It's a weak dispel, not a strong dispel. So this game you're dispelling the root, open wounds, and I wanted to talk about this fight too, though. You're only dispelling the root, open wounds, and cold feet. And I don't think that's the cold feet stun. I think it's just the cold feet, hey, I'm gonna stun you soon part. So I don't think it really does too much, whereas the Battle Trance cooldown reduction, sorry, that's Ricky. The Whirling Axis cooldown reduction is pretty big. They only have a cooldown of 9 seconds. The world duration is for 3 seconds. That means with the 6-second reduction, the world duration is equal to the cooldown, so you always have these axes going, right? And normally not that big of a deal, but you're versus a PL. He doesn't want a BKB. Even if he gets a BKB, his illusions aren't going to be able to hit you through it. And like that's a pretty big deal, and it'll come back to haunt you guys a bit in a later fight. I don't know if I think the game was pretty much over at that point, but so anyways, we see OC going around here. They're split pushing you. They have the Sand King and the Lifestealer top threatening this Rax, and they have the rest of the 3 heroes threatening mid, but they're not really getting any tower damage done. They're just kind of keeping the waves and kind of keeping you like threatened, and you guys recognize they're split, but I think you take an initiation when you don't really need to. You get the Like, the blink stomp here, even if you hit one, I don't know if you really get too much here. And what happens is you pop your BKBs, so you're BKB'd for a bit, and they're just kiting you around until they're over. And I think they eventually win this fight pretty hard, and you buy back on 2 heroes. So when you've got a good high ground defender like Sniper, and they're not using your jungle, and you can see all of their heroes kind of like pushing in, a lot of the times you don't want to really rush things. I think you guys just needed to take a step back and breathe a bit. Then okay, and then this was just a small late game decision that kind of ended the game really quickly here. So at this point, you have no vision on the map, and too early. You guys have almost no vision on the map. You don't see any of their heroes, and Trees runs up here to, I guess, farm alone. And the problem is they're actually unluckily already there, so you guys didn't actually see what happened here. It's pretty funny. I'll rewind it later. But so Trees gets out. That's fine. He blew his BKB. That's fine. But you have a situation where your sniper has no health and no BKB, and they just jumped him. So all 5 of them are probably there. This is another one of those times it's you guys got a small win. Sniper got out. Nothing bad happened. And then you guys tried to take the fight. So you're taking this fight here. Xshal pops his BKB. There's the whirling axes. Come out. If they're out before, it takes a bit less damage, but then they wouldn't be out now when he has more illusions. So it's kind of like a 50-50, and these things are eventually going to beat you down. Trees get some hits off, but they're really tanky now, and just hard kills. And if you look at your death recap, it's 2,130s from right clicks, and that's all from 2 melee heroes. So if you have that whirling axis cooldown reduction, you're probably going to take like 40% less or something like that. You live a bit longer. Who knows what happens to the rest of the fight. Maybe get some more mails from proc, something like that. It was a bad fight to take in the first place, but that just shows how much of the damage was the PL actually hitting you, and just the wrong hero. Just the how the whirling axis cooldown might have been a choice to consider in the future. Yeah, so at this point, this game is pretty much over. Trolls no buyback. They get 2 racks and then really blow it, because they should have just ended it, but they for some reason decided to dive into base stuff like that. I don't think we need to look at that. Yeah, the game was pretty much over at this point. Well, I won't say that yet. So what they do is they do the smart thing. They push in top because mid is all the way pushed in for you guys. But what you need to realize is that with Sweeney taught up, you're just going to have Ricky, Sniper, and Jakiro. You cannot really defend this at all. What's going to happen is you're probably going to get picked off and die 1 by 1, unless you kind of just, like, this throwing shrapnel on is good, but you don't want to commit. You don't want to run in here, blow ults and stuff like that. You're going to come out and get caught by the pits, and they're just going to slowly 1 by 1 kill everyone on this team. Once that Iraq is in the end of the world, losing heroes with no buyback, trying to defend Iraqs that you can't really defend, kinda is the end of the world. Anyways, they get the wave push back in. They get this this Rax too. They're gonna kill Sweeney Todd here. And they're just gonna take this. They honestly should have just gotten mega creeps and won the game here. But I think they decide to just randomly run at trees, taking the bottom. But anyways, we don't need to see any more of that. So X out. Either way, pretty good game, I think. You guys just lost laning stage like a bit too hard to recover for your lineup. It's just a lot of little things that work towards being a big thing. Just little mechanics like zoning, recognizing to pull right away as soon as your carry doesn't have equilibrium, catching the creep wave at the beginning. Just these little things that have nothing really to do with mechanics or anything. They're just thinking about when to do things and just keeping the wave shoved out and trying to position a bit better in fights. I think Sunitoad actually did a really good job sitting in the back as Jakiro, getting his spells off. So I think, yeah, just moving forward, I think this was your bit of a weaker game. The next game you guys do much better. So look at that one. Actually, don't think I clicked the right game. But yeah, it's a lot easier for me to coach you guys when it's actually happening in the moment, so I can add like real-time advice and stuff like that, versus looking at the stuff with both Fog of War on in hindsight, stuff like that. So hopefully we can do some of that in the future. I guess looking at game 2, you guys did I think a lot better. Is this the right game? No, I don't even know what game this is.
Your turn to bat.
What the hell? This is probably it. Yeah, I guess both games kind of had I would say the same like overarching issues. I think you guys won the draft in both games, very slightly. But I think the main issue is trying to make sure your offlane gets more than their offlane does, and that mostly comes through zoning. If the other team isn't going to zone, if you guys can zone, that's like a huge advantage right there. And I think that your supports, especially in this situation, because you have Shadow Shaman and Slardar, I think in this situation you guys should have been more together instead of running the whole dual off thing. I don't know if Cryptic likes to play alone or not, but I think that you guys could have put a lot of pressure on their offlaner. And I know you guys did get kills on their offlaner this time, but I was going to show you about how sometimes the kill isn't 100% as important as keeping him down in levels, depending on how much the kill actually costs you. So I think this actually last game too. Trees actually did a really good job mid. I didn't really look at the lane, just looking at the CS. He actually kind of dominated the other mid laner until rotations started happening. So I thought that was really good. Let's see how this game starts. If I remember correctly, we have the same start as last game. Xshal runs to the same spot. Don't run here. I think you want to be over here, or a support. You're over here, and a support stands over here. Kind of cover all entrances. Standing over here is just it's dangerous and it doesn't give you ward information to know if they're warding or not. So that's what I wanted to do. Looking here, you guys have sentry wards, but they're both in your backpack, and I'm unsure why they're in your backpack. I think you want them to be usable as soon as you can use them, especially if they have a Ricky on the team. Also, I think buying 2 sentry wards at the beginning of the game, you did this last game as well, you guys did. I don't know if that's the best way to do this. Okay, I'm going to look at starting items. Okay, so starting items, very poor Shadow Shaman. He had to buy 2 sentry wards. I would like to see maybe just 1 sentry ward purchased and a bunch more regen, like a clarity and or maybe have someone else buy the sentry ward and buy clarity and another set of regen. Like Xshal, this is even less regen than last time because you started Wraith Band. We'll see in lane that this kind of really hurts you, and that's against an offlaner. I think their team isn't very aggressive. OC isn't a very aggressive offlaner. And this is still not enough, so I think in the future maybe on ranged heroes, either consider the Tango Salve Sage Mask if you're going to go Bassy for the lane, which I only do on Clinks for the most part, or the double Tango Salve Wand Mango start, so you can build your wand to start the lane. Wand gives 2 regen as well, so you'll be very healthy for your lane. Remember, regen isn't just for you, it's for your supports. Actually, I think this is like the most important, easiest thing you guys can fix is just buy more regen to start the game. Look, or 2 sets of regen on Shadow Shaman. He's given 1 to his mid laner, or 2 tangos. 1 set on carry, 1 set on roamer. 0 sets on the mid, which is fine, and then 1 set on the off lane. So actually, you're saving a lot of money. I don't know what you buy Skynet here. I didn't notice this earlier. But I guess the moral story is the more regen you have, the more you can trade with them, and the more you can kind of force them out of lane, and you can be getting last hits that make that money back for the regen. And you won't have to buy regen in the future, because I know Xshal does go back for another set of tangos later, but it's much later. Okay.
Take that as tribute.
Alright, so they get a ward down here too. You guys end up dewarding it, which is good, but if you're standing over here and over here, you can see that right away or prevent it from happening. So Xshal this time, since there's no first blood, Xshal blocks his camp, and Devcon goes for the wave catch, which is good, but this time OC did not block, or did not block a creep in front, so there's no reason to wave catch. Take a bit of damage. OC takes a bit of damage too. So when I want to talk about zoning, Devcon should originally just be standing over here, I think, on this this side of the wave. So OC kind of has to choose between potentially dying and running away, which is a ton of free hits for Devcon. Instead, they look over here. Perfect start from Xshal. Last hit, boom, deny. The lane is already like in a great position right now. This creep is really low. This creep isn't as low. This lane is going to push back in. Perfect setup for any carry support duo that wants to keep their lane stable. And now Devcon and OC are just fighting over here. And I would honestly hold a point here too. Sometimes Aether Shock level 1 is really good. It's 140 damage for 95 mana. Probably one of the best trading spells in the game, besides Purification, unfortunately. So what happens here is they kind of walk back and forth, hitting each other. I'd like to see Devcon just stand his ground a bit more, beat a tango earlier, and kind of just keep trading with OC, because OC gets a couple hits off at the end there, and now Devcon is a bit low. There's no salve in this lane either, so you can't get him back up to full, so he can keep trading again. Their offlaner, you look at him, he's only got 2 tangos left, because he also only started 1 set of tangos. And we're going to see that. Actually, yeah, Devcon did eat 1. We're going to see the lane push back in this direction. But the issue is now Devcon is standing back here, and he's just soaking EXP, and OC is going to start to get ahead in levels over the other team, or your team, sorry. So yeah, I like to see him walking around behind here. I know you guys actually do get a kill on him eventually, but yeah, it's just if you want to zone him, you need to bring a lot of regen to lane. He's able to get level 3 for free. Omni Knight is one of those heroes. If you leave at level 1, he's the easiest hero to zone in the world. He can't really do anything. Now he leaves the lane actually, which is super beneficial for Xshal this lane. I think leaving lane for the bounties might have been a mistake. The other thing I would like to see is use your spells as soon as you get them, kind of deal. Like in lane, like you have this 1.4 mana regen, but you're not using any of it if you're at full mana. Xshal does a good job of using his Lucid Beam right away. I would like to see Aether Shock used as soon as it's picked up, because you're at full mana. Anyways, by the way, the lane's kind of just stagnate a bit. I just wanted to kind of talk more about the whole zoning thing. But yeah, so doesn't matter. Skynet's also getting a ton out of this. There's a huge wave coming back. Just imagine if this offlaner was level 1 and Skynet is level 3. What a difference that makes. That's nice. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to point out good things that you guys did. Holding your point, you're level 4. Notice Luna is level 4, only has 3 points spent. It's because you want your point in Moonglaze, and you don't want to push the wave. So that's good. Your ring is on though, however, so you're still pushing the wave. But I think you guys already talked about how you noticed the ring mishaps. But I see at this point you're out of regen. And this Omni doesn't have any regen either, but he's running you with Repel for some reason. Doesn't do anything. But he's able to do this because you don't have regen. If you're at full health here and he runs at you, you just turn and you hit him, and he has to run away. Kind of deal. This Omni can't really be in this lane if you guys are at full health. Also, I believe there's points where the Omni repelled himself and you guys just ran away. That's his weakest point. He can't purify himself at all. The Omni repels himself, just go hard on him. But that's such a specific thing, it's hardly worth mentioning. Yeah, I just want to point out that was good. Not a lot happens in this laning phase, to be honest. You guys get kills. You're not down 5 kills this time in laning phase, so it's already looking up. But you see the offlaners are advantaged over their carry counterparts in levels. That's something I like to see changed. Fast forward. This is a lot more of the same from last game. So 11. So this is good. You guys. Okay. Just want to point out. Hey, look, it's 11 minutes. Every tower is still up. Full health. Full health. Full health. Almost full health. Almost full health. Full health. So like it's 11 minutes. No towers even really been touched yet. Same as last game. Once again, it's because the offlaners were able to get so much out of their lanes that the carry isn't advantaged enough to go for it. So what you're gonna see now is Xshal's gonna try and push this lane, which is good. I like to see it happen with the first catapult wave if you can, because that is when generally your carry should be hitting around level, like high level 5, almost level 6. And if you are there with the support, you can kind of cut the wave on the off, like push the offlaner out of getting EXP from that wave. But even if it's the next catapult wave, that's still really good. The other team's not doing it. The other team's not doing anything. They're getting pushed in by Skynet. Like their entire catapult wave is ruined. So, Xshal, smart thing here, levels up all his skills. Very good. I don't know if OC recognizes this. He backs up because threat of Eclipse. DevCon's got his wards. Everything is like looking good for this push. Very good. Recognizing the timings. Wards are dropped. Very good. I would like to see Xshal move up here. DevCon move up here. Like kind of like there's no reason to not let this, like there's no reason to let this Omni get any of this experience. If you're standing on this side, he has to respect your Eclipse. He has to respect your shackles. You can always be scared of a TP in. DevCon has a ward right here. I would like to, before this push, I'd like to see a ward on this high ground. It sees every rotation coming in unless they smoke. No one's going to smoke in. I've never seen it. And you can just stand behind and pressure the offlaner out of here. You won't get a single bit of EXP from this tower push, and you should be able to get the tower relatively easy. I know I think DevCon pushes this after you guys get the tower. But what happens instead? Okay, go back 10 seconds. So you guys are pushing this, getting some serious damage on this tower. Xshal gets aggro dropped on him. So what I like to see is on heroes hitting towers, you hit the tower and then you step to the side a bit in between tower shots, kind of deal, so that the tower will not see you as a threat when it's trying to choose a new target. So when this melee creep dies, the next, like when that creep is dead, the tower has to acquire a new target. It's going to choose the closest target that's attacking it, which is Xshal. But if he is stepping to the side at the time, like if he just moves a bit to the side or doesn't attack for a second, he's going to choose the range creep instead, and Xshal won't have to drop aggro and won't take unnecessary damage. This ends up being kind of important, actually. This kind of interaction just shows how important small things can be. There's just a lot of little small things that end up in this not being like an absolutely fantastic trade. The other thing is when Xshal gets aggro, I think this happens a couple times in the game, so I think this is a good habit to get into too, to A-click an allied creep to drop the aggro instead of running out of range. So we look, they blow fort, you got aggro dropped on you. Actually, you do A-click this one off, but so another hero comes in, they're starting to take down the wards. So this catapult, very important to taking down the tower, does a ton of damage. You guys know that. The tower only hits it if there's nothing here instead, even if it's not threatening. At this point, the catapult takes 1 extra hit and dies before the next creep wave comes. 2 extra hits. But you tank those on your hero instead. Sometimes it's worth it to keep the threat on the tower. So line TP's in, and you have a new wave going in. Xshal runs at the line, but unfortunately this gets tower aggro as well. If he drops the tower aggro, he's going to get less hits on him here. And he ends up just barely dying after Eclipse is off. Because this Hex does get off. That was a great Hex. And this tower ends up with 240 health. So if like the tower aggro was never obtained, if it was grabbed for just the duration of the, like to keep the catapult alive. And if tower was dropped, or aggro was dropped, instead of the Luna dying, you instead have the Omni Knight dying, and the tower probably dying as well. So, and you guys would be extremely far ahead. It's just a little things. Also, the other thing is, the ring is not on. So, turn your ring on when you're pushing. Just a friendly reminder, I forget all the time too. Yeah. So that would have kept the creeps alive a couple times longer. But overall, like, you may see Luna dying there as like a bad thing. You got 90% of damage done on the tower. That's huge. Getting map control is very important. Pushing these towers is very important. Forcing rotations from line, very important. Like, all those things are good things that happen. It's just unfortunate that the Luna died there. But I think overall this was still good. And if you look at the CS, Viper's absolutely, Trees is absolutely running over TP. I don't really know what's happening mid, but it's got a level advantage, CS advantage, everything. So, and then eventually you guys do group bottom and kill this tower. That's very good. Okay. Let's see. Okay, then coming up really soon actually. So you guys take the tower. Cryptic puts a ward up there. Defcon puts a ward over here. Good wards. Very good protecting your Luna, allowing her to like really take a stranglehold on this bottom lane. Like, push it. Maybe get this tower if things go well. Like, your ward focus, you have 3 wards here. So you know you're playing around the Luna. You have 3 heroes down here. They have 3 heroes down here. This is really good. This is perfect. Luna can push all the way up here if they have heroes, which she will see coming in. She's farm jungle. Really good position for the Luna to be in. But unfortunately, Cryptic goes on Omni. That's fine. He knows his limits. Ricky could be anywhere. You guys don't know. But if you see the line TV, and so Cryptic sprints and gets out. But people seem to be on like 2 separate pages. I think this, like, when you guys get more comfortable with each other, this will be better. When you have a unified shot caller, because it seems like Cryptic is like, hey guys, get the fuck out of here, and Defcon and Xshal run in. And this ends up, you guys just lose Defcon until Cryptic comes back. Really, the leave no one behind mentality, and this is another scenario where you should probably only lose 1 hero, but you end up losing 2. However, you do force a lot of rotations bottom, and your other heroes are doing well. I think Xshal, you can farm this by yourself. You don't need to ping your supports over. Another thing I want to talk about is farming safely. So instead of taking this, take it later, but it's good to push out these waves. But when you do take it, the wave still isn't pushed out very far anyways. So you push this out, and then you take it as a team. I think it's perfectly fine for you to take it yourself if you just stand up on this cliff. So this wave isn't pushed out very far right now. You actually do have vision on a lot of the main hero that would be contesting you anyways. But if you just stand up on this cliff, it's a good habit to get into. It's just a lot safer. The creeps also don't do very much damage to you because they have to run around. Only the ranged ones can hit you. So you could probably take this by yourself. You get more levels for yourself. It's nice that you're sharing XP with the supports. But I think as a part of your rotation, you could have taken this camp and then that camp and then back to... They're just small things. Okay, so here's another scenario. They're going to dive mid. Viper's pretty tanky, but only really have 1 TP, and I think if Xshal TP's there alone, he dies. So good job for not TPing there. But your Viper, yeah, he's very far ahead. He's very tanky, but it doesn't matter if there's 4 heroes manage to get on top of him. Okay. Okay, this is a bit of just farming choices. So bottom lane is getting pushed very hard in by the Juggernaut. Xshal or Cryptic, you guys need to be taking this. I think that actually just the way the game played out, because Cryptic ended up being poorer than I thought he should be given his impact. I think Cryptic probably should have taken this farm, and Xshal should have just stayed in jungle, because I don't think that, barring letting the Juggernaut get alone with him in an Omni Slash, I don't think that Jug is ever gonna, or anyone really has kill potential. Yeah, but so there's no one farming this wave. You guys lost like a wave and a half, maybe 2 waves, and then when it finishes, you both go together. So I think someone needs to make the choice to go get the creep wave earlier. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, 19. Okay, so you guys are pushing top tower here, and I think someone gets picked off, or you guys defend. Okay, so they're pushing bottom, and you guys know they're pushing bottom, and you want to defend this tower. That's fair. You guys feel like you can fight. You've got a lot of really good D push on your team. What level's Fiber? He's got level 2 Nether Toxin. You have Firestorm, probably the best D push in the game. There's a lot of good stuff. But what happens here is this lane, you guys take this tower. So you've already taken a tier 1. Really good stuff. And they're pushing in, and you guys are like, we want to defend. I think Underlord needs to TP first. You need to realize who the best D push on your team is. In this game, it's Skynet on the Underlord. He needs to TP in first. He just needs to drop the Firestorm, get people all riled up. Viper doesn't really need to be there at the start. He can kind of just come in and clean up. This is another scenario where maybe Viper with his drums can put some significant damage on a tier 2, or maybe even take the tier 2 if the fight goes long enough. Who even knows? But you guys do TB Viper, and I think Cryptic comes to Trees and Cryptic go in, and because you don't really have D push on you right now, you have Nether Toxin, but Nether Toxin isn't going to do anything for Healing Ward. Kind of really need Firestorm. They're able to just dive past your tower. He gets repelled and spun. This is not Devcon's fault. He was in a good position. And like, he had time to Hex after the spin, but he's also repelled, so there's absolutely nothing he could do, and he just gets killed. And now we get the Underlord TP in. But because there were 2 TP-ins earlier, the TP takes a really long time, and you guys aren't really able to catch anyone. So you got to TP in your most essential personnel first. And meanwhile, look, no one went top from their team, and you could have easily pushed this wave in, forced a rotation back there, maybe done some serious damage to tower on Viper. And then the baffling part is, for me, is that you guys, same situation, you know a bunch of them are pushing bottom. Maybe you think that it didn't go so well last time. This time you guys are instead all trading. You're all going middle to try and get a trade, which I don't think is the worst idea, because you guys do push pretty fast as a team. It's just I'm confused why you decided to trade this time instead of the last time, when the last time would have been for a tier 2 tower. So I think like this was really good though. It was a good idea to trade. You might have lost 2 towers at the bottom, but you also get 2 towers maybe. Your exorcism's down after this, so they can't really do anything. Your wards are down, so you can't really do anything. So a very simple trade that allows your Luna to get a bit more farmed and move to more essential items. Let's see. So you guys decide to LTV back here, that's fine. Scare them off. But what happens is you do realize top is getting pushed in. So at this point, you guys are like, hey, there's these creeps hitting our tower. And now there's this Omni with these creeps hitting our tower. We gotta go. I think it gets pinged out too. And then Xshal will go first, and trees will go as well. This is a pretty, I think this is a pretty big mistake, maybe communication error. The Omni can't really do anything to either one of you. Sending one to just farm the top wave and push it out is good enough. The issue with teleporting, Jesus, both of your cores top is it makes everywhere else on the map vulnerable. They know your 2 most farmed heroes on the map. They're both top lane now, and they both know they're in a really deep position, deep defensive position, so their heroes can really do anything. And you're gonna see how this plays out. It doesn't really prove my point because you guys actually own this, but so you guys push this out. Now you're farming together, which, like, you're splitting farm. I think Xshal goes back, or no, Trees goes back to farm jungle. So you guys split up here, and now look, you got 1, 2, 3 heroes left out, and you see the pings from OC. Luna, they know you guys are up there. So they have 4 heroes in this area. If they group together and they take a fight on top of these 3 heroes, it's not going to be close. But instead, you guys somehow manage to get this initiation off on them. She uses herself, so Cryptic can get a stun off. The illusion rune really helping out, actually. God tier illusion rune. And you guys, I don't even think you lose anyone, and you managed to kill 2, I think. Yeah, you get the Ricky. So it doesn't prove my point, but the fact that you guys managed to win a 3v4, very impressive. That was actually very good. But I don't know how it happened. I think, yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but it did. You guys did a great job there. Great play from everyone in that one. So now, and the thing I wanted to point out is, even if you guys did die here, even if that fight does turn around and go sour, they don't get any towers off of this. They already have all the tier 2s down here. Your lane is so far pushed out. This mid is pushed out, top is pushed out. Look how much vision you guys have. Like, this entire side of the map is yours. You can feel pretty safe doing whatever. Even if they get some kills here, not the biggest deal in the world. And then, I think off of that, you guys also get top because both of your cores TP top. You're actually going to get this tower. And they can't TP defend because their TP and their Ricky are dead. So, absolutely should not have worked like that, but somehow it did. And I think you guys get out of here perfectly fine too. They can't chase you because they don't have any initiation because their line doesn't have a break okay. I did want to stop and talk about itemization a bit to this game because I think it was very important. Like, this is another example of, I don't know what the hell is going on. Pops or yields before exorcism. Very good Dark Rift play. That was like a very good call. I don't know who made the call, but going up there to take that fight, huge. She misplayed her Yules, but everyone else, you guys all played that fight perfectly. And you get the death profit buyback, but you guys back up, and I kind of want to explain why I don't think that's in your best interest to back up. The Death Prophet did buy back, yes, so you got the buyback. It feels like a small win, but she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have her Exorcism. Like, their heroes don't really have anything that can really go on you too much. And if you look at your items right now, you don't have the 4 staff yet. Never mind. But I think you guys can definitely take a fight with her big cooldown down. You still have like heroes that can fight without their ults very well. Luna's Eclipse, very useful, but when you're pushing high ground, doesn't get off a lot of the time. So I think that with that buyback, you could definitely take this fight, but I guess you guys are feeling the heat. Going back is not too bad either. Getting your essential items up. And instead, you decide to take Roche. Also a very good choice. My only issue with Roche here, you guys get really lucky with the DD rune. Skynet needs to use his Firestorm on the Roche. Firestorm is the only percentage damage spell that works on Roche for some reason. That needs to be fixed. It's probably one of the things that makes Underlord so good. You guys stomp this thing anyways, but like these guys know they're smoked, they're moving faster. Next time Firestorm could be the difference between getting the Roche and getting wiped like in your last game where you destroyed them. So just a reminder, use that on Roche. Okay. So I guess at this point they're kind of playing really scared. And you guys are farming the map, just extending your lead. 3k became 4k. And you're going to decide to push bottom tower. You have Aegis, very good. Getting your free tier 2, very smart idea. Good idea. But they're kind of pinned in their base, and I think you guys initiate on them under their tower. I'm not so sure this is the idea. Especially you guys don't have a blink dagger. You don't really have initiation. Your initiation, you have nothing on Shadow Shaman in terms of blink. You have like Viper, Luna aren't initiators. Underlord's not an initiator. Slardar is an initiator, but you just have a 4 staff on him, right? So the 4 staff, like I'm not playing the 4 staff choice. Very good choice. But it's hard to take a fight where you need to get in and kill someone without a blink dagger. So I think just slow sieging this tower is the best bet, but Cryptic managed to get 4 staff crush off on 2, which is actually really good considering. And you guys take this fight and the tower. I think that was a bit risky, and I'm not sure how that all happened. You managed to take down 4. Very good initiation by Cryptic. Did not think that was going to happen at all. But you guys got it done. And then, once again, you get 2 buybacks here. And this is a time where I'd like to see Xshal drop aggro a bit earlier onto trees or something like that. Comes back. Use Aegis still. It's getting really low. Can't really decide if you want to burn your Aegis for tower. And I think you eventually do it. Which I think is a fine choice. Because I think pushing your advantage now when Jug is dead is very good. I think hitting this Rax is good too. But you guys decide to back out. I think you guys might have been able to take Rex. No, that would have been maybe pushing it. Anyways, like you guys are taking these fights really well. Like the kill score is 13 to 12, but you guys are 9k ahead because you've been using the map better than they have this game, and you guys have been fighting better than they have this game. But I did want to talk about items. I said I was going to do it before, but there was action. So anytime a Ricky's on the enemy team, 4 staff becomes the best item in the game for you, besides BKB maybe, if you're a core. So I did want to talk about Luna itemization a bit. I know a lot of Lunas just get Dragon Lance to farm. In almost every game on Luna, I go Pike as well. I finish that off. The 4 staff gives you so much mobility. You can fight again I'll pause it and talk about this. It's important. The pike allows you to not only farm faster, jump ledges like here, 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 to just farm like increases your farm speed. It also allows you to get into the middle of a fight with Eclipse better, get out of a fight better, stuff like that. The Force Staff gives you so much utility, and the stats on it are pretty good too. So I think pike is definitely an item you want to finish after going Mask of Madness Lance, especially with a Ricky on the other team. And if you go pike or a Force Staff, it opens up your Slardar Cryptic to maybe go a Blink instead and get those Blink initiations off, because it looks like Cryptic is a very good initiator. It would just be a lot easier if he had a Blink Dagger instead. He wasn't using his Force to initiate, he'd use his Force to save someone else. The other thing I'd like to mention is the bottom racks push. You guys are pushing up. People were low on health, but they had to go back. Cryptic went back, and Skynet went back because they were low on health. But I think in the future, in both games, you guys neglected the Urn item. Game 1, it's kind of hard to buy on a hero because Ricky doesn't want Urn, but maybe as a Jakiro item. In Game 2, I think Slardar can definitely pick it up. Spear Vessel works very well with him too. It's very good against the DP, like extremely good against the DP and the Omni. So picking up a Spear Vessel would have been maybe a good choice. I might have gone Urn into Blink on Slardar and maybe prioritize farming a bit more during the downtimes. But play wise, everything was very good. And then good job Force Staff on the Shadow Shaman. I think if Luna goes Force Staff as well, maybe even if Slardar still gets his Force Staff, the Shadow Shaman go Glimmer Cape instead, which is also an item you guys have ignored over the last 2 games, which I think is kind of nice. I think like 1 Glimmer Cape and 1 Urn on each team is pretty important for team fighting and stuff like that. Anyways, you guys take this team fight here. Xshal gets immediately blown up, but the rest of you guys are so strong that because they've wasted all their spells on Xshal, you actually take a pretty okay fight around the wards. Get the DP, cancel your Dark Rift, and actually pick up a lot of the rest of the heroes. You guys, I think you play around the Underlord very well as a team. There's a lot of really good Dark Rifts, and you seem to take fights really well under stuff like Macro Pyre, like area control spells. You like and the wards, you guys walk back to them in the fight perfectly, right? Like the other team walked back into them too. And if you're taking fights under those wards or in the Rain of Fire or in the pit, you're winning fights. So I think that's how you guys have been doing it. I think that's why this game was more successful for you. I think the Underlord fits your playstyle better than the Centaur, which you can't really use like area denial with. Yeah, so anyways, the other thing I want to talk about is Manta on Luna. I've never really been a big fan of it, and I know like a lot of people have built it in the past. What a lot of pros have been doing recently is like, remember what I was talking about with the pike? You go pike, and then instead of building the Manta, you just don't build it and you go straight for your BKB. The Manta used to help you farm a lot faster, but with Dragonlance and stuff like that, you're already clearing your entire jungle every minute. I would really only ever recommend Manta if you're going to, like, if you need to get out of something that is like you need to get out of something that is very common, but you don't want to blow BKB for. So maybe like Ember Spirit, Slight, or Chains, something like that. But for most purposes of what Luna wants, for dispelling stuff, BKB will dispel everything that a Manta will. So, like, if you decide to go Pike BKB instead of Dragonlance Manta, for example, in the last fight, I'm not guaranteeing you would have survived, but you'd have a much better chance of surviving. And it's going to especially show, I think, in these high ground pushes where a 10-second BKB pushing into racks on Luna is like pretty much unstoppable. But you guys are hitting this. They're gonna kind of get a pretty decent initiation off on you. You're gonna dodge out of that. These match illusions don't really do much. They don't purge anything. You got a bit of damage on tower, but they don't even stop Ricky from hitting you. Look, you get a ton of damage off just from your glaives. You're gonna get a bit separated from the team. I think this is actually really good from your team here. Force staff to get you out. Turn around, go back in. Everyone's like kind of playing as a cohesive unit. You guys are really grouped though, so if there's like something like an Earthshaker or a Void on the enemy team, there's not this game. There's just the smoke cloud, and you guys kind of know that the Ricky's used it already and stuff like that. But just be careful of this positioning in the future. Otherwise, this is very good, forcing people to stand on the rate of fire. You go back, hit racks. You guys are gonna have a bit of a miscommunication here. Xshal wants to finish racks. The rest of you guys want to get the fuck out, and so you all kind of get out. Xshal just going for racks, but at this point, you guys get separated by the Ricky's AoE, and you do a good thing of just leaving instead of trying to kind of save your dying ally. Kind of go back 10 seconds. You guys can get your own position. So Xshal goes in, decides he wants racks. Fair choice. Everyone else, force staffs all the way out. Like, you guys are all the way out at this point. No one tries to save Xshal. You lose your Luna for 600 gold, but everyone else gets out, and you get the ranged racks. So not too bad all in all. Really close to melee. I'd be kind of sad, but yeah, that's good. Sometimes you gotta let your player die. You guys still have tier 2 towers up. They have their tower pushes like pretty quick, but if they tower push, they have to use exorcism. You're gonna go back and take their racks, I think. Big thing is I might have waited just a bit before that push right there, because you weren't. It's not like someone was dead and you needed to push before they respawn. You just decided to push. If you look at there's Viper, Tree's items, he's very close to BKB as well. And now Xshal is like, you guys are like 300 gold from BKBs. And I think if you both have 10-second BKBs and you go high ground, there's almost zero chance you can lose this game. It's a win percentage graph. Yeah, imagine BKBs is up there, I swear. And I think there's another big item coming on someone else who is a AC is really big. That's a really good item choice too. Blink, yeah, Blink is I don't think Cryptic actually ever gets Blink, but I would have kind of let him farm that and let Luna and Viper farm their BKBs, but you guys decide to smoke instead, which is a bit risky. You get popped on the Ricky, but I mean, that's whatever. But yeah, I want to say Skynet, very good item choice. AC is probably the best item against Death Prophet. Butterfly doesn't help you dodge her ghosts. AC provides plus armor for you, minus armor for her. It's like everything you want against Death Prophet. Absolutely great item. Also like the fact that you skipped Hood this game. They don't have very much magic damage on their team. You identified that it's mostly physical. Just good job. This is a mistake here, I think, for you guys. You got your BKB on the Luna, and you finished it up on the Viper with the exact same courier, I think. So you guys have two 10-second BKBs. This should be very easy game. I don't even know if you need to pop your BKBs to take this racks, it's so low, and then maybe pop your BKBs, take that set of racks, and back out. Then with your 9-second BKBs, you just go top and you take this set of racks. Just objective gaming from now on. But what happens instead is you see the Jug, so you chase him a bit, realize he's gone away, and then Xshal turns around, and I'm not sure what the call is here, but you guys separate. So look, if the call is to find the Jug, you guys need to all be together. We got Cryptic, who's invis, literally invisible on top of their Death Prophet, and you got Xshal, who is right beside a repelled Jug. So like, either of these calls would have been fine. If your team is there, that Jug is dead. If your team is here, the Death Prophet is dead. Either way, you win the game. But instead, you guys are split up, and Xshal is gonna be forced to pop his 10-second BKB here, which is unfortunate because he gets caught in a smoke cloud. And Devcon's gonna die to Ricky. You guys can get the jug, but it's gonna be BKB down on Luna. And the Shadow Shaman down. And you guys are, instead of pushing, well, Trees is gonna kind of, like, this is communication error too. I don't know if you guys realize how far ahead you were or something like that, but it's just, it's cocky play. So, like, you have Trees over here. Cryptic's here to back him up. But then you have Skynet sitting in between. He's not sure. Mom and Dad are fighting. Not sure which one to choose. And Xshal's over here trying to push this wave. Like, pushing waves out is very important. Like, having these waves shoving in is very bad for you. That's, like, it's one of the ways the game can just go wrong. Like, maybe there's a bots on Death Problem. She takes your racks or something like that, right? It's just nice and safe to get these out. At the same time, Jug is dead. And he's most of their damage. Death Problem still exorcism though. So, both of these calls are fine. Like, going for racks as a team right now is a fine call. Jug is dead. But going back and defending both of these lanes is a lot of farm and it's a safer play. And also maybe allows you to get your Blink Dagger up on Cryptic. I think you guys need to prioritize his, some of his farm a bit more too. Or Cryptic needs to prioritize his own farm a bit more. You know, take that initiative and TB back and grab this top lane. So I think that's for sure Blink Dagger. But instead, you guys are going to not really... Do you guys get racks? I don't remember. But as soon as they see Luna... Look, they... Okay, so Luna is running here. And the exact moment she comes into vision, they go on you. So that's not coincidence. That's... As soon as you show on the map somewhere, it's also another important thing I haven't really been talking about because none of you have really been playing like pick-off course. Like no Shadow Blades on the position 1s or 2s. No natural invis heroes on the position 1s or 2s, but showing on map is extremely important for you and for your team. If you're off map, it forces the enemy to play different. Right now, Xshal running over here off map, comes on map, and they jump you guys. Luckily, nothing too... Never mind, I forgot you died. Okay, so they get initiation, kill Cryptic. You guys don't even get racks. So that's it. Like a kill away for nothing. Cryptic, 322 gold right there. Exactly as the meme predicted. But luckily, you guys are really far ahead and you're fighting... Like, I think you're just playing way better than them in both games, team fight wise. You're winning team fights you probably shouldn't have. So having this much of a lead is kind of a big thing for them. The waves are shoved out back that way. I would be scared being this far out myself at a hero disadvantage, but I guess you guys have BKBs. So yeah, the other thing about buying the BKBs here is when I'm talking about pushing this high ground together with BKBs, is there's literally nothing they can do to stop it. The only thing they can do to stop BKB on this team, like, they have no stuns. They have Jug has no stuns, Ricky has a silence, DP has a silence, Omni has no CC, and Lion has a stun and a hex, right? So all of their stuns, anything that can prevent you from getting BKB off is on Lion, and he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. So you can see him walk up to you because his spells are shorter range than your vision. So as soon as he starts walking up to you, you just pop your BKB and he probably dies to glaives, kind of deal. So that's why BKBs in this game are very important. You guys both identified that, you both got them, but I think it's just as simple as grouping up, taking racks, and then hitting your BKB as soon as that line starts eyeing you funny. Or if Cryptic had a Blink Dagger too and that line didn't, then he just jumps the line and there's nothing that can stop you guys from getting BKBs off. But either way, the game goes on. Roche isn't spawning. It's a super long respawn. Yeah, still not up. Get a DD on Viper. I think you still don't do anything here. You're still pushing the lanes. And you finally decide, hey, time to group bottom. Good idea. Split pushing a side lane I think is always better than split pushing mid. Force Fort Jug TP's in. Get look, Slardar gets hexed here. Hex is down. You guys are free to use BKBs whenever. This guy's coming in on you. He doesn't have Omni. You turn around and you guys just slaughter this fight. This fight isn't even close. Yeah, like Jug didn't do anything. Omni with a super late ult. Clips is gonna burn them down. Trees just takes so much damage. Just like ghosts on him the entire time. Doesn't even care. But you guys still have to fight in his GG, and that's like walking high ground and popping your BKBs. Just simple as that. On that, sorry if I was too hard on you guys. Just feel like it's hard to coach and not talk about any negative things, because why would I talk about the positive things if you're always doing them? But anyways, I think that was pretty good. Actually, it was better than I thought it was gonna be. I've never actually watched LD12 games before. Really, it's just a matter of lane control. I think the laning phase is probably the part that needs the most work. You guys were really far behind. Not really far. You guys lost both laning phases, I think. And about keeping map pressure on and itemization, I guess. Maybe even cryptic some more farm priority. So you're gonna do some more snowbally stuff. Get his blink dagger eventually. I'm sure he'll get it in game 3. But other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns or want to work on anything, or if you want me to look at something specific. But yeah, otherwise I hope this thing recorded. Otherwise, huge waste of my time.